So during this pandemic, we have been seeing medical racism play out constantly, and we've been seeing a lot of black people being denied testing when they get symptoms of the coronavirus. So you had a sister by the name of Rana Zoe Mungin. She was a social studies teacher at Bushwick Ascend Middle School. She died at Brookdale Hospital Monday, April 27th, more than 6 weeks after she first fell ill with a fever and over a month after she was placed on the ventilator. Her family says she was turned away from the emergency room twice before she was finally hospitalized and tested for the coronavirus. Her sister Mia, who had been chronicling her sister's battle with the virus since she began experiencing symptoms on March the 9th, tweeted the heartbreaking news on Monday. It says that she developed symptoms after her nurse sister returned from a hospital shift to the parish shared home with a fever. It said as Raina's condition worsened, it said her family says an ambulance was called at least once when she had difficulty breathing. It said Mia Mungin told the news that when paramedics showed up on occasion, they suggested her sister's symptoms was a panic attack. And after Rana arrived at the emergency room, she was refused a test for the virus despite her symptoms and possible exposure. So they knew that the other sister is a nurse. She came in with a fever, basically gave her sister coronavirus, okay? Get to the hospital, don't want to give her a test. This has been the story for a lot of black people, refusing to test black people. I'm telling you guys, medical racism is real. They want to keep the test for white people. I'm calling it what it is. They want to keep it for white people. They don't want to test black people. This is story after story after story I'm seeing. That's why black people die in the coronavirus. You won't even test them. So they says that the family says that the ill loved one was twice refused a test at Brookdale Hospital before she was admitted on March the 20th when she almost immediately was placed on a ventilator. Understand? Twice. They could have found out what she had, go ahead and do what they have to do. But this is what black people are dealing with in the United States for sure that I've reported, and in the UK when the other black sister died because they refused her a test twice. Over and over and over. This is why I was telling you guys, in Babylon, it affects our health. It affects our lives. And some people want to be in Babylon forever. You don't see Babylon is falling, but you'll go down with the ship. That's why, like I say, y'all converted me. I really believe now 2/3 of us not going to make it based off of just how y'all talk and how y'all move. Rana Mungin ultimately will be transferred to Mount Sinai Hospital in Manhattan and improved, but her condition took a turn for the worse after she was transferred again to a New Jersey facility for patients who are coming off ventilators. It said Rana died the day after her sister apologized to her on FaceTime for possibly infecting her. Now, the registered nurse, felt her sister was a victim of racial disparities in the healthcare system, and the lack of care that her sister received early on contributed to her death. Yeah, you didn't even test her. And then when she was at the other hospital in Manhattan, she should have stayed there. She was improving. Why are you going to move her for? That's stupid. They said racism and health disparity still continues, and the zip code in which we still live predetermines the type of care we receive. So basically, if you are in what they call a black neighborhood or black area, you're not going to get the same treatment. But you go stay in a quote unquote predominantly white area or more affluent area, then you'll get better treatment. You get what I'm saying? I mean, it's just like you can't win for losing as black people. You stay in your community, trying to do what's right, then you're getting discriminated against. Boy. So it says that she said she died not only because of COVID-19, because we live in a world that is racist and anti-black. That's what she told the news. It said, we know that black people are dying at disproportionate rates. This cannot be left out of the conversation. It can't. They will not test black people. That's why we as black people need to call Senegal. Because when I reported that story about they had a $1 test, we as black people need to see what we can do with Senegal and get some tests for ourselves. Because we can't depend on these people they test. They won't even test black people. At least in Senegal, it's a saliva test or a blood test. I mean, seriously, we need to look into that. If people in Senegal, who do we need to call? Because black people in America need some tests. We can pay for our own tests. It don't make no sense. You don't give somebody a test because of the color of their skin. Now, there's a lot of things I want to say in this video, but I can't get away with it. Trust me, I can't get away with it. Now, this family is hurting. This family is upset, and rightfully so. Okay? And let me tell you what needs to happen. See, with this Mitch McConnell, he's trying to prevent it where you can't sue employers or sue hospitals or whatever. These people need to be sued, period. The people that denied that sister a test, they need to be sued completely, because it's their fault why that woman died, because they could have caught that early on and started doing what they need to do early on. Or maybe she just had to take a certain kind of medication and be okay. But no, it kept going on and on and on and on and on. It's so sickening. It's so sickening. We watching so many people die from this coronavirus, and just because they're being refused a test. But these celebrities, they can get a test. Even if they don't have no symptoms, they can test. But a woman with symptoms, she can't get one because she's a black woman. And then I hear people making videos and big up in all these other groups of people like they're going to come save us. Let me tell you something. Yes, we got problems as black men. Yes, we got problems with black women. We do. But you know what? No other group is coming to save us. You can say how horrible we are as black men and all these other different races of men are better. They're not saving you. You could say black women are so horrible and all these other women of different races are better. They're not coming to save us as black men either. We have to understand that. You may deal with an individual of a different group, but their group is not coming to save black people. They're not. We're all we have. We all we have. And we all look silly doing that, talking about how horrible the people are in our community, like these other groups will come save us. These other groups are dealing with their issues and their problems with coronavirus. They're not coming to save us, period. None of them will. So we need to get our act together. Stop getting your feelings hurt so bad because somebody either didn't want you or you didn't get who you want. Man, throw that mess away. We got life and death things going on right now. We need to stick together and pool our resources together. Them brothers and sisters in synagogue got tests. We need access to them. Shoot, man, y'all got these $60 ventilators. I mean, y'all got all kind of things over there that we need access to right about now. You can't depend on this government. This government is just worrying about preserving white people. They ain't preserving black people. We got to do things for ourselves. And the 3D printer situation, making ventilators. You know, what brothers and sisters got a 3D printer? You need to start making ventilators for the black community because, hey, we can't depend on them. And then most of the ventilators they're sending is killing folks. But that's a story of a different day. But leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the situation with this, teacher that once lost his sister during this pandemic. It's just, man, it's upsetting to constantly see racism play out with black people with life and death situations.